Welcome back to the 1014 audio channel. My name is Max Kumsher, and this is the third episode in our training series. This episode is a sound chain, and what this basically is it's the path that sound and signal takes, getting from the microphone all the way to the speaker. It's really crucial to understand this to know how to troubleshoot and solve different problems, especially in live sound. So basically what happens is when you speak into a microphone or you have any sort of signal come through your system, that starts the source signal at the very beginning with your source. And then it goes next into your preamp, or what we also call a mixer. It takes the signal from that microphone or from whatever you're sending signal through, and it goes to the mixer. And then after the mixer, it gets processed and routed there. It goes next into the amplifier. Some amplifiers are built in within speakers, and then some of them are outside the speakers. And after it goes in the amplifier and it boosts the signal, and it goes to the speaker, and after it gets to the speaker, that's when the electrical signal that comes through gets converted into sound waves and gets sent out. Now let's look at the different lines and signals that are sent from different equipment. Different instruments and different microphones produce different levels of signal. For instance, a microphone produces a very low level of signal, around negative 60 dBV to negative 40 dBV. This is what's most commonly known as mic level. It gets brought from the microphone to the preamp, or what's more commonly known as the mixer, through an XLR cable. The next one is called a line level. Now, line level typically comes from your acoustic guitars, electric guitars, keyboards, and it's a much higher dB, around 0 dB to 4 dB. It's a much higher signal, and then the last one is speaker level. Now, speaker level is when a line level gets sent through an amplifier and gets turned into a much higher level of signal that goes to the speaker as an electrical signal and then gets transferred through drivers into sound waves that get sent out. Now that's what we talk about as the different levels that get sent through this sound chain. Now let's talk about how we can get a line level down to a mic level. A DI box, or a direct injection box, is basically what we use to be able to take these high line levels and then reduce them down to the low mic levels so they can be sent to the preamp or the mixer at an acceptable level so they can go there for processing and further editing of the signal before it is sent out as a line level, which then gets sent to the speaker. So, just of an overview and a recap of what we've learned so far, mic level is a low level sent out by your microphone. Line level is a much higher output sent out typically by your instruments or that comes out of the console. And then speaker level is the highest level that gets sent out from the amplifier to the speaker so that it can be converted into sound waves. Let's put this all together, what we've learned so far. I'm going to be using my iPad to draw this out so you guys can follow along. So first we have our microphone, and it produces a mic level. This is the beginning of the source. It comes from the mic, and then it goes as a mic level to the preamp, or the mixer. It then goes from the mixer and gets sent to the amplifier. And this amplifier boosts it enough to be sent to the speaker, which then gets sent out as sound waves. This is the basic track and basic flow of your audio. So now when you're in your sound system or you're in your auditorium or however you are producing sound or signal, you can know exactly how the sound gets from one place as your microphone and then gets out to your speakers. Now after we did this with our iPad, let's put this into real world demonstration. So we're going to actually use a speaker and a microphone and a mixer so you can actually see how this gets played out. Now that we looked at the theory behind the sound chain and written it out on the iPad, let's look at the real life visual demonstration with the actual equipment that we're talking about. So first off, we have our SM58. This is the microphone that we covered in the last video of the equipment. And we also have our XLR cable. So first off, we're going to take our microphone and plug the female end of the XLR cable into the mic. And then we're going to take the male end of the XLR cable and then plug it in to our mixer, or our preamp, also as we call it. Then we take the mixer and have signal go from that through this XLR to our speaker. So the sound chain here is mic to preamp to the amplifier, which is inside of this powered speaker, so it doesn't have to have an external amp. And then in the speaker, it's sent out as a sound wave. So we take our microphone and we speak into it, and that produces mic level. And then it goes into the mixer, and it produces line level out, which then gets sent to the amplifier, which is inside of the speaker, and then it gets amplified into speaker level, which then creates sound waves. And it should create something that sounds like this. This is the sound chain, and this is how we get it with a real visual demonstration. I hope you've enjoyed this episode, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next one.